Hey everyone, this is the pilot guy, Rich V, as I'm known on YouTube as. Normally I do flying videos with all sorts of different airplanes, but today I wanted to try a different video where I do a 30,000 mile review on my 2023 Mustang Mach-E. I had some reservations about this vehicle. I wasn't a Ford fan. I wasn't an electric vehicle fan. I just wasn't sure I wanted this vehicle. I had driven a few Teslas and I decided to go with this vehicle. And honestly, I could not be happier. 30,000 miles in, I've changed the cabin filter, I've had the tires rotated, and that is it. Nothing else has gone wrong. I mean, the performance, the handling is so tight, the torque, how cheap it is, especially having a home charger. It's just, I can't say enough good things about it. Now, sitting inside the car to start it, you just put your foot on the brake, hit the power start button. Now that I have the frunk and the rear hatch closed, this is what the screen looks like under normal conditions. You have your typical steering wheel mounted controls. On this side is your lane assist, your adaptive cruise control, and it also has your Ford Blue Cruise, which is your totally 100% hands-free driving. Unfortunately, it only works on roadways and highways that are divided. So if you have a 2-lane road, it's not going to work. But where I live in New Jersey, we have the Parkway and the Turnpike, and I can just set it and it will stay in its lane. It will notify me if the lane on either side is clear, and if I put the turn signal on, it'll change lanes automatically. It's really impressive. Over here you have your typical volume and phone controls, your typical garage door opener, which I absolutely love. I don't have to carry my big ass bulky opener in the car. And just a cheap little mirror on the visor, nothing spectacular. Your sunglass holder, some reading lights, and then somewhere up there, it's starting to get dark, right there is the camera to make sure I keep my eyes on the road. You have the heated seats, you have the heated steering wheel, gives me the tire pressure. It has 2 navigations. The one I use is Android Auto, but it also has its own navigation system. So if I wanted to go somewhere, it would tell me where I would have to stop to charge and for how long. It has a front and rear camera, a wide angle right there. It has a 360 that I could zoom in. When you put it in reverse, it has your typical backup camera. Will also give you the wide angle back there, which is awesome, especially when I have a bicycle on the back. Sound, it has 10 speakers in it. You can adjust them any way you'd like. It's absolutely stunning sound system. As far as the driver assistance, adaptive cruise control. It will speed up, it will slow down on its own depending on what the vehicles are doing in front of you. You can turn on a speed warning that activates when you are over the speed limit. The lane keeping assist is absolutely impressive. It has emergency braking. You can set the distance before the car activates the brakes on its own. And I can tell you, in the 20 months I have driven it, it's happened 3 times to me. It really is a great system. Obviously, every car now has the blind spot information system. The cross traffic alert is when I'm backing out of my driveway and some lunatic is going 75 miles an hour down the street. The reverse brake assist will kick in and save me from running someone over. The driver alert is if I take my eyes off the road or if I'm getting sleepy, the camera inside will warn me that I need to pay attention. The windows you can have open and close on their own. The power lift gate is hands-free if you'd like. It has auto high beams. I never knew that existed on a car. I live in a remote area and constantly want to use the high beams due to deer, and they come on and off by themselves. I've never had another car coming the other way flash me. It's really impressive. The welcome lighting I will show when it gets dark. It's a pony emblem that comes down right in front of the door when you approach the vehicle. Auto fold mirrors. Low battery, just like in a gas-powered vehicle. 30 miles to go. The alarm comes on and says, "Hey, dumbass, you better plug your car in." The wipers are auto-sensing. My key is I can use my phone as a key. I don't need the actual key fob. I can also punch in a code to drive the car in case I forget my phone and my fob and I'm having a really bad day. Down here under ambient lighting, you could change the colors of the interior, all different types of lighting. You can change the intensity. I think I'm going to stick with red. And it does software updates over the air, so it's constantly updating itself. So a 2-year-old car is going to have the same technology as a car just rolling off the dealer lot. It has 3 driving modes. Whisper is gentle. It's for rain, snow conditions. Then you have engage, which is your normal everyday driving. And then you have unbridle, where your neck gets snapped back into the seat every time you touch the pedal. The torque is just mind-boggling. It's 0 to 60 in about 4.5 seconds with the one pedal drive. And that, when it's off, it drives like a normal vehicle. You have to use the brakes to slow down, and you wouldn't know you're in an electric vehicle. With the one pedal drive, as soon as I let off the accelerator, it's sending the power back to the batteries. So it saves me on charging. It saves on brakes. I can drive 25 miles to work and not use the brakes one time because I'm now so accustomed to how this vehicle drives. The brake pads on this vehicle are easily going to last 100,000 miles due to this one pedal drive function. Calm screen when you don't want anything else on. Then you can hit the volume control and then it will kick back on. You can also use the volume control to adjust the heated seats. Now my ass is getting too hot, so now I put that on. I can just use the volume control knob to adjust it. The steering wheel I don't need. That I installed myself. It's a front and rear facing camera. Unfortunately, the cameras on the car do not record, so I decided to get one that does record. Have it stay on for an hour, so if I run into the store and some bozo backs into me, I'll get their license plate without even being in the vehicle. The leather interior, top notch. Absolutely top notch. You have USB, USB-C down here on the back console. You have your armrest with cup holders. The panoramic roof makes the car look so spacious inside. It just feels very bright. In the summer heat, it does not get warm at all. It's tinted. At night you can see the stars. It really was worth it to upgrade to the premium model. Luckily inside you actually have a real door handle. Has a nice sized glove box. Has storage underneath. Has a lift up console here with a little door that slides back. Plenty of charging ports in there. Now around to the front. Here's the Frunk. Doubles as a giant ice chest. You can see the two cup holders. In earlier models, there was a drain plug in the center where you could drain the water and ice out. But now I just have these two little tiny grills. Ford spared no expense with this cheesy ass light. So I again installed another one up here, which is on a magnet. Just so much better than the little light they gave. And then this little button is an emergency release. In case somebody crawls in here and you decide to lock them in, they can get out. As nice as this area looks, I'm not really impressed with the design, because underneath over here is where the brake fluid is. And then over here they give you the positive and negatives for the 12-volt battery, but it doesn't do you any good because you'd have to pop all this plastic crap off. I mean, at least they give me the washer fluid, but I mean, popping these plastic panels off every time is just a pain in the ass. What they did do is down here in the front on the bumper, they gave this little panel that I popped off before I started the video because it could be a pain in the you know what to get off. And then they gave you a negative and a positive. So if you ever had to jump the battery, you could do it this way. But for maintenance and for replacing the battery in another 2 years, I'd rather have it visible and easy to see. As much as I like the front of this vehicle, it looks really nice. The one thing that irks the hell out of me is this pony. Why in the world could they not have illuminated that? Most electric vehicle manufacturers have their emblems lit up to signify it's an electric vehicle. I have seen them aftermarket online for like $450, but then I'd have to take the entire frunk out to run the wiring. So I'm just disappointed they didn't do that themselves for a few $100. I mean, the car's $50,000. What's another $400 to make it look nicer? And a look at the sequential turn signals in the front. Also have the turn signals on both mirrors, which is nice, with all the idiots driving on the road today. The LED projector headlights, phenomenal. Again, the rims, very stylish. The one thing I was concerned about was the tire tread. I read a lot of articles about how EV tires wear out very quickly, but I have to say, with 30,000 miles, I think I could probably get another 20,000 miles at least. So I'm not that concerned anymore about the tread life. And here's the back of the Mach-E with the rear wiper and the trailer hitch I installed myself. I do not tow anything. It's only for a bike rack. Now I have the sequential turn signals on. And now you have the brake lights with the reverse lights and the lovely backup alarm that every electric vehicle must have. You have plenty of tie downs all around. Ford really skimps out on the interior lighting, so I installed this with magnets that does a much better job than the car interior lights. The seats do fold down, and I also have a sunshade. There is some storage underneath. I have an emergency kit under there. So as you can clearly see, there's no spare tire. So with no spare tire, I bought this as an aftermarket kit It came with a hydraulic jack. It was, I believe, $350. The exterior door button is just a totally shit design. It's going to cause problems. I could see it happening a few years from now. I'm going to go to hit that stupid button to get in the vehicle and it's not going to open. The car actually has a recall right now because if I'm a dumbass and I let the battery drain, the door lock will remain in the position it was in prior to the battery going dead. So if it was locked, the car's going to stay locked. If the battery dies and the doors are open, I would have no way of locking the vehicle if I'm in a public area. So I now have to bring the vehicle in and let them do some type of computer update, and it's just beyond stupid. This little button right here, that's how you get in the vehicle. You have to pop that, and then the door pops open. You can hear the actuator just then. So down here is the actuator that pushes the door open. So that's the part I will be replacing. Now, I just looked at the one on the back door, and even though it's in a different location, it looks like it's the same style and the same size. So hopefully I can just come over to this door and pop this open and take that one and put it over here in 2 years when this one goes bad, because this one gets used 5 times a day. The one in the back gets used maybe once a week. At night, with the mirrors folded and the doors locked, as you approach the vehicle with the fob, it recognizes you. The lights come on, and here's your puddle jumper light. And this is exactly what I'm talking about with the front of the car. They could have illuminated that pony to match this, and it would have been absolutely phenomenal. And now one look at night with all the lights on. Now I go home, I plug the car into my garage, I walk in to the house, I forget about it. Everything's automatic. It comes on at 8 p.m., it shuts off when it's done. Never have an issue charging the vehicle. I have charged at public charging stations. I did it a few times in the beginning. Not a bad experience. Sometimes you had to wait. It's a lot more expensive, and I'm not into wasting money, so that's why I got the charger at home, and it was a great decision. So to charge the vehicle, it's very simple. You have the charging port door on the driver's side front fender. You just press it in, grab the charger, remove the cover, and plug it straight in. You see the light circling. It now turns blue to let you know it's going to charge. Because mine is set not to charge until 8 p.m. every night when the electricity rates are lower, it's not blinking. But if it were charging, the blue light would be blinking. Each one of these sections is 20%. So when this fourth one turns solid, I would know it's at 80%. Plus the phone would tell me, and also the instrument panel. Now to unplug it, you just hit the unlock button and you unplug it, and I just hang this back up. And I would highly recommend having a home charger just because of how little it costs to power the car and just for the convenience. Now, Ford also gave everyone a Tesla adapter, which I have right here. Now, if you notice, there's a little cover here. You flip this down, and now it would accept a Tesla supercharger adapter. I have the adapter here. That's what the Tesla looks like. This would just be plugged in to here. And then I could charge at any Tesla supercharger I want. And then to unplug it, I'm just going to hit the unlock button again, and then there's a little lever up on top. I'm going to use two hands. So you hit that, and out it comes. Flip that back up, close it, and you're ready to go. So what I did here was created a few screenshots from the Ford app on my phone. The first one shows the vehicle parked, 77% range, giving me 182 miles. I do not have a scheduled departure for tomorrow. And then the climate button is the remote start. So you can remotely start the vehicle from anywhere. You can lock, you can unlock it. You can also set the temperature. You can also turn off and on the heated seats and the heated steering wheel. This screen shows no active alerts for the vehicle. It shows my odometer. It shows the tire pressure. And it also tells me that my washer fluid is good. And this one shows the vehicle charging in my garage. I do have a home charger. It's currently charging until 7:57 p.m. It's charging at 5.2 kilowatt hours. It's telling me how long it's been on charge, which is 2 minutes. It's currently at 76%. And I set a target percentage of 80%, which is what I always charge to. Ford does say you can charge to 90%, but anytime you go over 80%, it just takes twice as long, and all I am doing at that point, I feel, is wasting money. So I charge to 80%, and that gets me 2 and sometimes 3 days without having to charge again. For anyone who has liked this video so far and might be interested in aviation, you can check out all of my flight videos that I have on YouTube. I am going for a private pilot's license, so I am currently training with different types of planes. I fly all over the world, and sometimes I land, sometimes I crash, But usually it's a pretty fun video to watch. So if you're interested, please check that out.